welcome everyone to today's video. I am super excited about this. I know when me and Tony, we stream, we get questions all the time about openings. And so I kind of wanted to dive into the concept of developing from the opening, especially when things don't get wrong. So I'm going to be playing the bots beginner through master. But as you can see highlighted on the board, I'm going to be playing Bongcloud every game. Bongclouding the bots, and it's bad. You know, you push the pawn to e4, you bring the king out to e2. It is a bad opening. But in then going through my thoughts and hopefully getting some wins, I'm able to show you guys what a grandmaster thinks about out of the opening when you take away the theory, when you take away the memorization. Because it should be faster going through the bots, I'm going to probably start with 8 bots. So we'll start with Martin and do the first 8. But I will be continuing doing a video going all the way through beginner and master. Hopefully I'll be able to take them all down. This first video shouldn't be too hard playing the beginners, but hopefully this is a learning experience for all of us. So also for the record, I'll have white playing the Bongcloud. It'll be 10-minute games. So here we go. Martin the Merciless, the first to begin. We'll see what he thinks about my beautiful Bongcloud here. He's hitting me with b5. Okay, a little b5. I'm really tempted already to put my king back, but in the opening, development is important, so I think I'm actually going to start with knight c3. Okay, I was threatening the pawn. He pushes it. We're going to continue. Normally, you do not want to move a piece twice in the opening, but if my opponent's going to move a pawn twice, then I'll move my piece twice. I want to finish that thought before I say, what the heck? Bishop takes d3? Oh my goodness, Martin. Just because my king's on e2 doesn't mean you get to give me free pieces. Okay, so we have a few options here. Pawn feels like the most solid. Let's keep the king covered. But queen is aggressive. We want to be careful about bringing our queen out too early, but since he gave up the light square bishop, I think queen out early on a light square when he doesn't have that bishop is very reasonable. We're going to continue our development, bring the knight out. Again, we're kind of hitting this pawn, which he is just going to give me. My king's safe. My queen's keeping my king really safe, so we have time. We can take it. Okay, another pawn push. Don't do this. Martin is pushing all these pawns, wasting so much time while the pieces remain undeveloped. Okay, we want to drop back e3. We want to drop back f4. My hesitancy with going e3 while the square coverage is good is it blocks this bishop. But the f5 square would be so good for the knight, especially with attacking potential. So I think we go e3 in this case. Where's the love for your bishops? That's just hanging. That's just free. Martin, I said develop your pieces, but not like this. Okay, that's actually a half decent developing move. I wanted to go knight f5. It slightly contends against that. I might still go knight f5. Because the thing is, my king's on e2, but Martin's king is still in the center, so I think I'm the one attacking here. My pieces are developed, so even though my king is in the center, it's relatively well covered. And Martin's pieces aren't out, so it's hard for Martin to be attacking me at all. Hits me with a check. We're gonna, ooh. Dropping back makes sense. but I'm dreaming of a place where these rooks come in. Actually, I'm going to do something a little crazy. I'm bringing the king out just so it's out of the way of my pieces. Look, my pieces are completely open. How is he even going after my king? He wants to trade queens, maybe? We're going to stop that. Bishop c4, develop a piece, guard against the trade. I'm the one attacking. I do not want a queen trade. Okay, and we're following through. Rook on the, or king on the run, but now rook hanging. And we continue the development. Okay, I'm not worried about any discovery. The knight is struggling for squares, so go ahead and attack me. No issue. I'm on the attack now. I'm very well developed. King is on the run. We're going after it. Ooh. I'm being tempted. I'm being tempted with some... There's got to be a checkmate. Okay, let's start first. Queen check. Queen check again. I want this check, but that actually blocks the protection of this knight, which may not be an issue. But let's actually finish our development. Yes, I know we're attacking, but now that's just checkmate. Whoa, one mistake. I think I already know. King e2. All right, well, let's go on to the next spot. That one wasn't too bad. Martin, the merciless, was merciful today. Okay, now we have Wayne. And Wayne, you should, I mean, if you talk to Martin at all, you know what I'm preparing. Okay, Wayne, a little bit more dangerous already. Already threatening checkmate. I got away with the Bongcloud last game. But make no mistake, there is a downside. Now, I really like knight c3. Of course, protects. And I'm going to try and take advantage. Bringing the queen out early is often not the best. And it's exactly for this. As I start to develop my lesser valuable pieces, it is something I can attack. Okay, I think we keep it pretty solid here. d3, open up the bishop, nothing too complicated. I could go for the trade, but I'm thinking we put this bishop on g5. Bishops generally are better than knights, but if I get a take, he takes back, and then I jump this knight in. This feels like some potential. I do have to be careful. Maybe this knight jumping in. Let's go for bishop g5. Wayne doesn't even care. Does not care. I'm going to follow through on my plan. We'll take. And we have ourselves a fork on the pawns now. Ooh, okay, so queen here. I see knight e7 hits the king and queen, but it's being guarded by this bishop. So the greedy person inside of me, instead of just taking this pawn, wants to try for this trick, but I don't see any way to kick the bishop since it can just go back to d6. So let me take c7. Yeah, the rook is trapped, so we get a pawn, we get a rook. Okay, actually this is a great idea. Still, the downside to my position is the king is vulnerable. So trying to open up the position is good. I don't have a way to guard e4, so I'm actually going to take this. And it may be time to try and get my king to safety. Drop it back, open up the bishop and queen for the defense. I think it is. It is time. I'm trying to, own up to my king e2, not just drop it back, but Wayne's trying to hit me where it hurts, so we gotta respect it. Okay, this is actually a good move. That takes away my knight's escape square. Knight, I promise I did not forget about you. Okay, this is actually tempting. Trying to go after the queen, and if take, that is a pin. But the queen just moves. Why am I pushing my pawn? Feels like it's weakening my position. Although, pawn push, bishop here, then we try and provide a defender for that knight. The knight's trapped, but it's not It's not done yet. I'm gonna go for it. This is kind of a crazy move. But I think it's about the only way I can try and protect my knight here. Okay, Wayne's bobbing and weaving though. He's not gonna fall for any of my ideas. Okay, now I think it's time for a queen trade. I've won a rook. My king's in the center, so it's could be a little bit. What? What is this? What is this? What is that? It's free. What does that do? Wayne, you were playing such a good game. Now you're just gonna give me a. Now I get my knight out because the bishop was covering. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm at a loss. Let's keep solidifying. Now something I'm a huge fan of doing when you have a material advantage, and I would recommend, is start to just improve your pieces. We're up material. When we're up material, we have more firepower. When we have more firepower, like, use it, develop it. So get the rook into the game. Yeah, I was threatening a sneaky checkmate there, which is why Wayne's going to block it. But we're going to continue. Bring the pieces in, activate. Let's get this rook in too. I think this should be pretty solid. And going after my pawn, but I'm up so much material, which once the pieces are in place, checkmate should definitely be close by. Wayne, have some love for your pieces, my guy. Yeah, and now all the pieces active. Easy checkmate. Okay, pretty solid. We didn't say we had a mistake this game, so we're improving. Let's keep going. We have Fabian. I should have worked on my pronunciation before doing this. Okay, Bongcloud. What is this? What is central control? Central, don't you know about central control? I'm gonna take it. What is this? Is this the banned gambit? I hit him with the meme opening, the Bongcloud, so he hits me with the banned gambit. Then a free pawn? I don't even need to talk about much of my thoughts. I'm just taking stuff. I just take the free stuff. What is this? I never thought I'd look back and feel like Martin was a freaking GM, like genius. Okay, this makes me I'm gonna do stuff I shouldn't. I'm gonna give you a slightly bad but greedy example. Okay, I didn't expect the rook to. I look, bringing the queen out like this might not be the best idea. But when your opponent's just pushing pawns, you have some freedom. And I'm really tempted. We can take the free rook. We can take the free rook. But I could go for this, which pins the pawn and opens up a checkmate threat. This is an example of what not to do. When you have a chance, take the free rook. Take the free rook. Don't do this. He pinned it. He pinned it. He's a genius. Wait a second. He turned it around. He knows my mate threat. Okay, that was. See, take the free rook. Take the free rook. That was a good pin. That was a good pin against my king. There was a consequence to my king being on e2. Okay, we're still just taking stuff though. I learned the error of my ways. I'm back to just capturing. Okay, and we're developing. We're playing good. What is this? Who programmed this bot? There's just a lot of pushing and giving pieces. This is crazy. Oh, that. I didn't try and castle. That didn't happen. Even grandmasters do dumb things, okay? I know the queen e5 one was intentional, but I legitimately thought I could castle. The king was back on its starting square. What am I supposed to think? Okay, there was a pin there, so no free pawns today. And we're just continuing with the attack. This is not a bad move, bringing the queen out. I think we continue bringing the pieces in. Development, cover the squares. And then, like, once the squares are covered, our pieces are developed, now we can start attacking. Now, I'm seeing this knight takes f7, king moves and promote. This is the defender, but in that line, I'm getting a queen. So take a knight and get a queen. Like, this is just a win all around. I'm at a loss. Actually, let's get rid of this pawn, because I think the escape square for him is gonna be king a6. And then I want this square covered or cleared for my rook. So we drop the rook in there. King, it's fine. He's two pieces. You're not gonna checkmate me. Actually, I know it's a bot, but let's enjoy the pin a little bit. Let's savor it. I'm gonna take all your stuff. You keep giving me all your stuff, I'm gonna take all your stuff. The first two games, I'm like going through instruction. I'm trying to be helpful, useful, give you know, some advice on my thinking. This game, I don't know. It's a wash. It's just when your opponent gives you this much free stuff, like just take it and move on to the next game. And we get the checkmate. Okay. Now, one piece of advice I would give is, even when your opponent's playing like this, don't underestimate. I mean, the one consequence I had, I went for that checkmate, didn't play the moves I knew I should. I got greedy because my opponent was playing poorly, and then my opponent did find a good move. So just because your opponent doesn't start well, doesn't mean they still can't find good moves. Don't underestimate them. Okay, we are on our fourth bot, Juan. Okay. Juan, what do you have? What do you have against the Bongcloud? It's worse. It just got worse. Instead of h5, a5, a6, a5, because why? I'm gonna take the center again. Okay, more. This one is a little bit different. I think I'm gonna still take it, but it is sad to lose my nice center. Center is so valuable in chess because, you know, you think if you have control of the center, it just improves your ability to move all throughout the board, either on the queen side or the king side. It really helps. Okay, Juan's actually locking in. He's going after my pawn. I take it back. Juan has no clue what he's doing. I'm gonna keep developing, even though my king's on e2. The opening principles remain the same. Let's develop some pieces. If our opponent brings their queen out too early, I'm gonna attack it. This is why. Is this a mouse slip? Can bots mouse slip? Because Juan, you were the chosen one. You were doing so many good things. Oh my gosh, this is just bad. Now I'm gonna go after the queen. I'm developed. Juan isn't. So now look at all my pieces coming together. That queen's completely trapped, by the way. The result of just me developing. I don't know what Rook A7 is. Juan, you will learn. You will learn. I believe you'll progress. Okay, so that was a mate threat, by the way. We're gonna re-emphasize it because the knight's the only thing covering this mate square. So we're gonna re-emphasize. We're gonna go after the defender. No choice. Only way to avoid checkmate. Give at least one square for the king. But you know, the problems continue. Now we have the same checkmate just over here. Okay, that one was smooth. That one, I don't know what to say. Juan just gave me everything I could I could want. Philippe. I believe it's Philippe, not Philip. Philippe. Show me. Okay, we got an e5. Bot actually fighting for the center. That's great to see. Okay, again, we're going to develop, try and cover some of that squares. Yeah, I know. You're checking me. That's fine, but we got to solidify the center. Now, the one thing I don't like about this pawn, it is preventing this knight from jumping in, which I would love to do. Somewhere there could be some breakthroughs in the center. So I'm thinking about developing the bishop to g2 actually, just to, yeah, I like that. Let's bring the bishop, develop the bishop, but also try to keep the center solid. Philippe, not the way. I hope for those, you know, watching this, trying to figure out some things to do in the opening, learn also from what the bots are not doing well. Like a lot of them are bringing their queens out early. It is not the play. It gives me a target. It gives me something to just not attack only, but I just got a free development for my bishop here because the queen was brought out too early. Queen is a super powerful piece, but that's free. That doesn't mean you get to just throw it around. What? It's okay. I'm all for taking queens. I'm all for it. And now I even get my king to safety. Beautiful. Even if I'm not up a queen, I love this position. You know, my king's now safe. Bunkered down. Bishop's pretty solid. This knight, I know I put it on the edge of the board, which usually isn't recommended, but the squares that it can go to are really valuable. And put me right in the action of the game. So potentially we could see some castling happen. I don't think I'm too worried about it. I am actually going to follow through on that. Start trying to jump this knight in. Yeah, I mean, that's a check. That is, in fact, a check. This is also a check, but feels a lot more effective. And now it's just time for cleanup. Now we're to the cleanup part. See, my queen comes out now, but with my opponent having so few pieces, the chance of my queen being attacked, being kicked around is non-existent. I'm dominating. I'm controlling this position. And yeah, now the queen powerful. And that's checkmate. All right. Philippe is done. Philippe is done. Okay, that's 5 bots, so we're going to shoot for 3 more bots, get it through the halfway, because these beginner bots, things are going a little bit faster. As I progress, I'll do probably less bots, because I think these games will take longer. But for now, we got great bots. And you'll notice I'm still doing a lot of the same things. This is not Bongcloud theory. It's just the way you should play the opening, bring out the pieces, develop. Although I'm playing the Bongcloud so much that I am starting to understand things I like. the fianchettoing this bishop here is one of those things I am starting to like. Okay, we're going to start first with opening up this bishop. Now we're g3. I could take this pawn on e5 and probably should. I haven't even been too worried about it because I am a bit focused in developing, but I think it is now time. I'm ready with some f4s to protect, maybe d4. Okay, knight c6. Not too bothered by it. We'll take, I do not want to let that knight jump in. Now, this is actually probably the best opening any of the bots have played. Some potential here on the squares. So I probably need to be a little bit careful. I think a little bit careful, actually. I'm going to start bishop g2. I like this plan. It also opens up Rook f1, so any threats with the queen on d4, which could definitely be an idea, now are gone. Now, I'm going to play bishop e3, and this one could be funny because apparently Alani here is just going to give me a free bishop, so that's why it's a little bit funny. No, I was going to say bishop g4. I actually would play f3, take and king takes. It feels a bit crazy, but the king would actually help support this central control. I get in d4, rook e1, and eventually I would slide the king back. Not typical. What you want to do in the opening is use the king, because if it does open, that is going to be a downside. But there I was fully ready to just make the best of what I have. And maybe similarly here, I'm going to take over the center now, bishop check. I have to block with the bishop. Okay, thank you for the queen. And yeah, let's just get rid of any of these annoyances and start breaking open the center. I'm up a ton of material. I have decent piece development, so we can just take all the free things. Now, I could take this knight, but these pawns actually are keeping the position pretty solid. So I'm going to take here. That opens up the mate threat. I'm going to take here, just breaking down. Alani, you missed my idea. Okay, how do I promote to a rook? Ah, get out of here. Alani, it was not your day. Yeah, that's a solid checkmate. All right, 6 spots down, and they're getting up there. 550, no L. Show me what you have against. No, 8. You can't be doing 8. Okay, e5, e5. Fight for the center. Now you're talking. No, well, okay. Rook h7. Why are we developing the rook? Okay, I mean, I'm hesitant with my king in the center to be taking these pawns. But if they keep getting offered, I'm going to have to keep taking them. Okay, again, trying to control the center. Trying to get some solid development here. How do we want to continue? I'm actually tempted to try and play here. Actually open up the position quickly. Normally, you know, we'd be hesitant about opening up the position quickly with the king in the center. But the development from Noel here is just so bad that I think we kind of go for it. You know, get the bishop out of there. Now the queen is creating some threats. We got to deal with this bishop. Maybe here's how we're going to do it. We're going to put the rook on e1. We're going to sneak this king back. Open up here. And that also opens up the bishop. We're actually going this direction. And I want the bishop kind of in this direction because it looks like my opponent's king is here to stay, as well as this rook, very attackable on h7, and exactly what I'm going to do. Ooh, rook g7. Now the queen comes in, and yeah, things are falling apart. Things are falling apart for my friend here. Give me that. Yeah, that's just. Ooh, that was a good one. That felt nice. Part of why, like, be careful of pushing too many pawns. Of course, we often push pawns in the center. We fight for it, but it is very easy to overextend the pawns, kind of open up the squares in this territory where all of a sudden I'm actually able to get into your position easily and create threats, and we see this exactly here. Okay, so this is our 8th bot, Oliver, to finish off this video. Hopefully we can lock in, make it a perfect 8 out of 8. Now, I'm a little higher rated, so hopefully we're able to lock in. These are the beginner bots. These aren't the more challenging ones. Okay, I actually don't hate this. I don't hate this. This is a little bit better than pushing on the side, a little bit. I don't like the knight here. Unlike when I did it these squares, I'll easily be able to kick that knight away. Now, I think I'm going to go for f4. I'm noticing in some of these positions, it's like, what are you copying me for? This is my idea. Go be original. What is this? Magnus Carlsen versus Hikaru Nakamura, double Bongcloud situation. Okay, so we see it. Knight jumps in. No, kicked out. Not the same. When I did it in one of the previous games, the knight was a lot more difficult to kick out because it had places to go moving forward. Okay, so king f2. This is... I'm going to have the king in the center. This is sort of my... another strategy. Bongclouding all over my face. What the heck? King f and g5. Wow. Wow, Oliver, you... That's a strategy. Okay, bishop d3 going after the king is an idea, but I like this h4. Maybe the one positive I'm finding to the Bongcloud is instead of castling, I'm leaving this rook on h1. So let's try and take advantage of it. Okay, yeah, I think we just bust this position open. My king actually feels decently safe on f2, surrounded by pieces. It's my opponent's king that is the target. So let's just... pawns lead the way for the pieces to do their job. And now you see it. I mean, pawns just opened it up a little bit. We have a double checkmate to finish the day off. Oh my goodness, Oliver. Don't Bongcloud on me. That's my move. Don't do it. Overall, you see a lot of consistencies with these bots. Next video, I'm going to be continuing with the second half of the beginner bots. It will be the next 7. And we'll see if these consistencies between the bots so far stay, where they're not really fighting for the center, they're not developing their pieces really well. Okay, they occasionally just completely hanging pieces, but I hope in this video you see, even though I'm playing a bad opening, when I still follow the opening principles, how valuable it is. Fighting for the center, developing my pieces, being careful not to bring my queen out too early, but not forgetting about it. And then with my king, of course, always being mindful, when is my opponent trying to bust open the center, go after me, make sure that stays safe. And all around, it works. It works, even the Bongcloud. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.